Jenna Ortega just had some very interesting comments regarding Scream 6, or Scream, as apparently it's going to be called. Let's get into it.
Well, sometimes that is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? Killjoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today we're talking a little bit about Scream 6, a big ol' nasty update on it. We have a few things to talk about regarding the title, a secret cameo appearance in this movie that may or may not happen, and also a certain chase scene that may have just been detailed by Jenna Ortega. I also have a little update on Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, which I'm excited to get into all of those things, but first I'm gonna need y'all to like this video and subscribe for more horror content in the future. And one other thing I would like to shamelessly plug here is that the trailer for Red Right Hand has been released. I would greatly appreciate if you guys watched that and checked it out, maybe even shared it around to build some hype for our movie that comes out in December. We unfortunately don't have a budget for marketing, so I'm really hoping the word of mouth gets this thing around. So talking a little bit about Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, a new slasher flick coming out in February of next year about Winnie the Pooh becoming a slasher villain alongside his good friend Piglet. They've had some wonderfully wholesome adventures in the past, but now we're gonna change it up a little bit and they're gonna actually kill and eat people now. A great decision in my opinion, but I can only imagine how harshly Disney is scoffing at this puppy. Or I guess I should say Bear and Tiny Pig. Now the release date for Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey got changed recently to February 15th of next year. There's going to be a one-day theatrical screening of the movie, and that'll be the only time you'll be able to see it in theaters. On top of that though, we just got 4 new images, one of which features a young Christopher Robin, which means we'll probably get flashbacks to seeing the actual origin story of Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin and all that shit, and how it gets skewed down in a crazy left turn of them becoming cannibal slasher villains. What's odd about the other 3 pictures here is they are all a silhouette of Pooh with like a knife or like a skeleton or maybe even like a severed head, for instance. It's all cool stuff and I'm not complaining, but I guess I'm just really eager to see how gory this movie gets. With a premise as ridiculous as Winnie the Pooh and Piglet are now cannibals who are killing people to eat, I mean, I kind of need a little bit of gore, maybe them eating a person like alive or some shit. I'm a simple guy after all. I mean, all I really want from this film is Pooh Bear to smack some honey on somebody's neck and then just take a bite right out of them. I'm not asking for much. Fingers crossed that happens. Fingers crossed, baby. Come on. But from these set pictures, it does tease a lot of crazy action, including a car on fire, like I said, a half person, half skeleton, so it looks like someone's gonna get eaten alive, and also just a severed fucking head. Like, that's pretty crazy. And the trailer that came out pretty recently also isn't bad. Like, I was pretty shocked by that trailer. It looked fine. It looked pretty decent for how ridiculous and wacky this concept is. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check this puppy out. I can't wait for it. You'll see a review of that this upcoming February. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually excited for this movie. I think it actually looks pretty good. All right, but now let's get into the old ghost face talk, because we just got a brand new picture from some kind of party or event that was happening where Heather Langenkamp was in attendance and may actually be playing some kind of key role in Scream 6. In this picture, you can see multiple people involved with the new Scream project, including the Radio Silence guys, you know, the directors and producers, as well as Kevin Williamson. The other person who's there is Heather Langenkamp, the star of A Nightmare on Elm Street, Wes Craven's other big slasher series. So wouldn't that be a great way to honor Wes with this new film by having your other leading lady from his other big slasher franchise attached to this new movie? I could see her having a little cameo appearance in this new movie, very similar to maybe Carrie Fisher's from Scream 3, where she kind of just shows up, has a little funny meta line of dialogue or some shit, and then pieces out. I think that would be really sweet if they did something like that, especially because Heather Langenkamp, I guess, is just like the sweetest human being alive and is super fucking cool. Obviously, this is all a theory and none of this is confirmed. I mean, it's literally just a picture of all of them partying, but how cool would it be if she showed up in that new movie? I would be totally down for that. I mean, we have been speculating a lot recently that maybe a celebrity will be the opening kill of this new movie. I'm just saying that could be pretty cool too. But moving on to the actual title of Scream 6, which actually is not going to be the title of the film. All that we've seen so far is that the film will be titled Scream! Oh, you think I'm joking? No, the only title cards we've seen so far of this movie is Scream with 2 exclamation points after it. And no, that doesn't mean the film will be called Scream 2, it just means it'll be called the same thing we got this year, but louder. Viewer Anon recently tweeted out, "I'm hearing from a few people the title of Scream 6 really is just Scream. I look forward to many in-person discussions about Scream ! All I gotta say is that if they really name it that, that might actually be more harmful towards this movie than if they were just to call it Scream 2 or Scream 6, which is what everyone else is going to call it anyways. I mean, from a marketing standpoint, I could understand calling this movie Scream 2. Like, that makes sense on paper because this is the sequel to Scream that came out this year. But like, calling it Scream with 2 exclamation points doesn't make any fucking sense to me. I mean, overall, it's not that big of a deal because we're all going to be calling this thing Scream 6 no matter what they call it, but this is just such a goofy title and a weird tone setter for your overall movie. They've been advertising this movie like it's going to be this wildly different sequel in this franchise, and this title just screams that we're going to get more of the same. Did you see what I did there, putting screams right in the middle of that sentence? The biggest thing I want to talk about is Jenna Ortega, though. A recent interview has just come out with Jenna Ortega where she's talking a little bit about chase scenes in Scream 6. Let's play the clip now.
So can you tell us a little bit about Scream 6 and what we can anticipate from that installation of Scream?
Scream 6, I'm so excited about because there's a lot of good chase sequences.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of reminiscent of like in Scream 2. There's a chase between Gale and Ghostface through like the lab. I feel like we have a lot of stuff like that this time around.
All right, and so you're doing a lot of running is what you're saying?
Yes.
Now, maybe it's just me, but the way Jenna says that, it almost sounds like she's lying. Why does she have that tone in her voice where it's like she's making this up on the spot?
Chase sequences.
Oh.
It's almost like she's reading this off of a script or something. I don't know. Something about this just doesn't rub me the right way. Even though, I will say, chase scenes in Scream 6 is a must and something I really want to see in the new film.
I feel like we have a lot of stuff like that this time around.
The chase sequences in most of the Scream films are a great way to build tension. It's something I would love for them to go back to in this new installment. It was sorely missed in Scream 2022 from earlier this year, and I would love to see it come back in Scream 6, especially to see how the Radio Silence guys tackle that concept in a way that will probably be different from the way that Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson approached it back in the late 90s, early thousands. And you cannot tell me that they released this subway picture without teasing basically a chase scene through a subway car. I mean, come on, that would be such a massive missed opportunity if they had this whole set piece and no chase scene through it at all.
Chase sequences.
That would be such a big moment for this movie to do a chase scene that's so outlandish like that. Most of the chase scenes we've seen have been through suburban homes, so to give us this wildly different setting for a Ghostface chase sequence would be fucking dope. And that's the big thing I'm talking about when it comes to doing things just a little differently with the format and with the way things are set up in these movies. I'm not talking about just completely getting rid of the DNA. I'm talking about this specifically. Like, this is building off of things we've already established in the past and making them fun and original again. By changing the setting, there's so much more you can do here cinematography-wise. Like, maybe someone trips between subway cars and that's the reason why Ghostface can catch up to them or some shit like that. I mean, there's so many ways you can spin this chase sequence through a subway car specifically opposed to like a suburban house or a sorority home. There's so much more you can do here, and I'm really excited to see if they fuck with that or not. I'm fingers crossed that they do, man. So what do you guys think about all this new info on Scream 6? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this brand new Scream 6 update video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content in the future. Please consider supporting me on Patreon or becoming a channel member by clicking that join button on my page. November is the least spookiest month, unfortunately, so Jake's analytics tend to go like this month. So your support is greatly appreciated more than ever. It would really mean a lot to me if you guys signed up for my Patreon or became a channel member. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.